Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the zoo. The minion with me right now is Adam,
Hello.
and I will hopefully be joined by a Sora Luna later on, as well as potentially a JohnnyHellcat, but that depends on how his little ones end up treating him tonight. But other than that, how you doing, Adam?
Um, may I make a request on title change?
Depending on the title.
Um, so I was given a name, I think, as a goof.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I was changed my name on a different server to Mr. Veggie Straw. But I managed to work it into Adam of Vegstar.
Okay.
I don't know how I don't know how I did it, but I managed it, and I would say, you know what, I like it. So, Mr. Adam is good, but Adam of Vegista, that works as well, and I would accept that as well. Yes.
Make it sound like a adventuring character from either a book or just tabletop game.
Yes, sir. You know, it's a noble name. You know, humbled roots, right? I mean, obviously, Vegstraw. He's a he's a farmer, a firmer. Um, so I'm gonna go with that.
Hasn't yet quite earned his full name, is still just using the tacking on of where he originates from in order to denote him from the various other atoms.
Yes, you know, yeah. I'm not just your average Adam. I'm, you know, there's still growth there. So I would, we'll see where it goes. Honestly, I'm I've been doodling a couple of characters for this, so uh, uh, we'll see where it goes. But yes, Adam of Vegstar, and again the goof name she gave me Veggie Straw. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like a chip or some
Yeah,
shit.
it's a type of snack.
Yeah, some snacker. I don't know, but um, I, I managed to wedge it to Veg Star without the R. So it sounds like some remote village in northern France. Wait, Belgium.
I don't know. I was thinking more up in the Ruslands
You think
because I could see Vegstar being just to one side or the other of like
the forest, right?
yeah, of a forest and kind of has a similar sort of cadence to it's just missing the ending part for like a Vladivostok.
Dude, see. Okay, so it's the American. It's the Americanized. When they came to Ellis Island, we changed it to vegetable. Oh shit! Ah, I, dude, son of a bitch.
Changed it to Vegstar. That way we can avoid any sort of association with the goddamn Ruskies.
Hey, well, you know what? we don't. We gotta change our. We gotta protect our household name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Well, yeah, no, that's that's what I've been up to. Other than that, it's been nothing but uh, I'll work and no play. How you been doing, my good sir?
I've been doing decent. I sadly couldn't justify getting a full bird and cooking it myself yesterday.
Oh, hold on. I believe Jan Paskey, that's her name, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think she said like a 20-pound bird was normal. I think she said 20-pound. But I've been seeing a lot of people saying they're getting 13, 12 pound
Yeah.
birds. What in the fuck?
Yeah, normally you'll get like a 12, 13-pound tom for a standard size family. If you're having an extended group, then yeah, you might end up going more towards the 18 to 20 pound. But
Yeah.
that would be to feed not just your immediate family, but your cousins and whatnot as well. Because
Save
yeah,
me the neck.
I think the standard is probably about 12 to 13-pound tom for a standard family of 4.
I was gonna say like something like 15 would be like pushing it. I mean, at least
Yeah.
in my
15 would probably be if you have a larger family. If you have like a family of 6 or so, then you'd probably push it out to 15. If you have a standard family of 4 to 5, then you're probably looking at more like that 12 to 13-pound tom.
And how was the cost? Was it more, or was the difference noticeable?
Like I said, I couldn't justify getting one this year myself, but the prices were definitely up from what I saw, and I just can't justify getting a 10, 12, 13-pound bird to eat by myself. So,
Well, unless you're filming a YouTube channel with what is that, mukbang?
yeah, I'm not trying to go the ALR route and balloon up to 600 something pounds.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
In fact, I'm going rather much the opposite way. I'm now down under 250 pounds for the first time since before college.
Hey, nice.
Yep. So I'm slimming down rather nicely. But yeah, they couldn't justify getting a turkey, and unfortunately, the stores that I went to, because I hit 2 or 3 different grocery stores to see if I could get smoked turkey legs or anything like that. The only options that I saw were frozen turkey legs, and I'm not going to get a frozen turkey leg. If I'm getting turkey, I want it to be fresh.
Wait, frozen turkey leg, like what you would find at the Renaissance Fair?
I was trying to find smoked turkey leg like you would find at the Renaissance Fair, yes.
Good. God.
Because those are delicious and they make a nice little meal. But since I couldn't find those, I ended up going for pork blade steak. Sometimes people know it as pork shoulder steak.
Shoulder steak. Or blades. Blades of pork.
Yep, pork blade steak or pork shoulder steak. And sorry about the chiming of my chamber vacuum sealer in the background. It's currently marinating some lamb for tonight's dinner. And hello, Johnny. How are you doing tonight?
Not too bad. How you doing?
Doing grand. Just
Welcome.
we were talking about food.
You like food too, Johnny, right?
I do, in fact. It just doesn't like me very much.
Oh.
At least not currently.
Yeah.
Well, why not? Was it kidding you while you're down?
No, it's I've got some stomach issues going on at the moment, so we're still trying to figure out what's going on with them.
With them?
You know, all 4 of my stomachs.
Oh. Okay. Well, I mean, you said it.
I'm a cat, not a cow.
I was gonna say.
So now we just learned some deep lore. Johnny is not a cat impersonating a person or a person impersonating a cat, nor a cat impersonating a person who's impersonating a cat. No, now we learn the real truth.
The
Johnny
Lord
is
has
a cow impersonating a cat, impersonating a person, impersonating a cat.
Ding, 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 ding. Smokey.
It's like someone got high while carving Matryoshka dolls.
So it's like that Futurama, or not Futurama, it was a Family Guy. It's like, yeah, I'm not actually. I used to be a man. Well, that's not true. I used to be a horse. Well, that's not true. I used to be a broom. And
Yep.
then the broom just falls over.
Where he's unzipping the costume each time.
Yeah. More costumes to come.
So it'll be something else. Is impersonating the cow, impersonating the cat, impersonating the person, impersonating the cat.
Yeah.
Nice.
That just reminded me of, it's a hilariously bad movie that I love because it is just insanity. Face Off. The degree to which Nick Cage was able to act like John Travolta trying to act like Nick Cage, while John Travolta was acting like Nick Cage trying to act like John Travolta. They actually pulled off that bullshit. They pulled off trying to act like the other one trying to act like them.
Somehow.
Yeah, it's retarded, but it's retarded in the most glorious of fashions.
Wait, you were watching John Travolta and what?
It's Face Off.
Face Off. Oh no! Oh,
Face
no.
Off.
That's the worst and the best of John Travolta and fucking Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, like I said, it is gloriously bad. And they managed to do that very weird acting where they're acting like the other person trying to act like themselves. And it's believable.
How do you get two bad actors to fucking act like two other bad actors?
How to get bad actors to act like each other while acting like themselves. That was what they did. And it actually somewhat worked.
It fucking worked. Hey, you know what? But and what's sad is, in terms of like, at least for John Travolta, he can at least say that his, lesser performance was him in Battlefield Earth. I was, when you were still learning to spell your name, I was conquering planets. Get out of here, John Travolta.
What, you mean his magnum opus, his love letter to Scientology?
He had said in an interview that is his pride and joy.
Oh, gee.
It was so bad. It was amazing. But it's one of... So, you know how there's bad movies that are so bad they're fun to watch? That's one of those movies that was so bad. It was boring as shit to watch. But afterwards, you're going, what the fuck did I just watch? And it becomes amusing in retrospect.
What the hell did I spend my time on? What's going on? Hey, but let's not fault Nick Cage though, because he has some doozies out there too. So.
Oh yeah. He absolutely does.
There's a reason why he's in debt.
Still. I decoded the Declaration of Independence. Yeah, but you're still in debt. Oh.
I think it's more the other way around. He's still in debt, which is the reason why he has so many god-awful movies.
He makes a new one. They're like, dude, you owe us now. But the movie made profit. Yeah, but you made another movie. It's like, son of a bitch. Please.
Like I said, Nick Cage is just signing on to every movie because he's just looking at his financial situation going, man, if I don't just keep on cranking out movie after movie after movie, I'm going to be sucking dick in an alley somewhere.
Jesus. I guess that's where you go with the face. Oh, no, that's bad. That was bad.
That costs extra for him to say that.
I think the only other actor that surpasses that would be like I don't know, like Val Kilmer or something. No,
Yeah,
he's
Val Kilmer has either really amazing movies or god-awful movies. There is no in-between for that man. I have never walked out of a Val Kilmer movie and gone, eh. It's always something fantastic or something that I'm going, my God, how did this get made? Why did this get made? Who decided that this needed to be a thing?
It's a circumstance type of thing. Direction and production value. Yep.
I bit my lip earlier and it still hurts.
Ah. Speaking of, Raymond Lewis just mentioned Wally's Wonderland is a great movie if you haven't seen it. Nick Cage is in it and doesn't say a word all movie. That just reminded me of, you guys are both familiar with what Hammer horror movies are, right?
Wait. What's
No.
a Hammer horror?
So, you, of course, know the Universal movie monsters?
Like
series, right?
like Frankenstein and
Frankenstein, Dracula, the Mummy,
yeah.
the Wolfman, all those. So at a certain point, they kind of leased out some of their IP because they made those movies and then they gave the green light for other people to make those movies. And one of the studios that they gave the green light to make a bunch of those monster movies was a English studio by the name of Hammer Studio. And Hammer Studio just became known for its fantastically bad monster movies that had their own unique style, which made them amazing. Also, it helped that one of the main actors that they got to play in a lot of these movies was Christopher Lee. In fact, Christopher Lee's big break was in Hammer horror movies. Hello, Sora.
Hello.
Hello.
And he played Dracula in the Hammer horror movies. It was what made him a big name and allowed him to expand out from there. But
did he play Dracula in every cast? And also, hello, Sora.
Hello, Adam.
He played Dracula in, I want to say, like the first 5 or 6 Hammer Dracula movies.
I was thinking 4 or 5. I'm trying to remember because Dankula did a video. Dankula did a couple videos on him. So
I know that he played Dracula in a fair number of the early Hammer horror movies.
It was the prominent actor.
Yeah,
they casted for.
He was the big name for Dracula because it was Bela Lugosi was the first big name for Dracula. Everyone, when they thought Dracula, they thought Bela Lugosi. And then Christopher Lee played Dracula, and it became, when you think Dracula, you're now most likely thinking Christopher Lee's Dracula rather than Bela Lugosi's Dracula. Because a lot of the shit that we now think about as iconic Dracula wear was stuff that was Christopher Lee's Dracula, not Bela Lugosi's Dracula. Like the red-lined cloak, or cape rather, that was from the Hammer horror movies version of Dracula.
Pretty much any modern popular vampire Halloween costume is based off of Christopher Lee.
Yep. And one of the things that Hammer Horror ended up being known for was its very weird depictions of the various monsters in a good chunk of their movies. Also, just the over-the-top, what-the-fuck nature of shit. When there was violence, they would dial it up. So it would just be like blood spraying 15 feet from a person. So, you guys remember the Headless Horseman movie that came out a while ago where it was...
Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp?
Yeah, it was Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp, and I don't know what... Walken. Walken was the Headless Horseman.
Yes.
That movie was a love letter to Hammer Horror movies. To the point where they cast a bunch of old Hammer Horror movie stars in the background cast for the movie as cameos.
Well, that movie came out a bit ago, didn't it?
Yeah, came out at probably
2000, early 2000s, I think.
Earlier than 5 years ago.
Okay, I got the image of Christopher Walken as the Headless Horseman with his balded hair and goofy looking eyes. And Christopher Walken, so
yeah, but it's Christopher Walken that he's in a movie where he doesn't have any real spoken lines because the entire movie, his lines are which just makes it even better.
He didn't have to say anything. He was the perfect actor for that.
Yeah, that's why the Raymond Lewis's mention of Wally's Wonderland came to mind when he said Cage was in it but doesn't say a word the entire movie. All I had going through my mind as I read that was just Christopher Walken. Because what the fuck? It was amazing. We need more just over the top what the fuck movies.
I don't know, man. I mean, if you could put Christopher Walken in there, you might have a home run either way.
True, there's just something about Walken. You put him in a movie and it just becomes hilarious. Even if it's not meant to be, it becomes hilarious.
He's fantastic. It's his cadence of speech, just overall very good.
Yeah,
I think he can start off if a movie is supposed to be something, if it's more I think if it's more towards a comedy genre, he kind of throws the stereotypical Walken in there, just to kind of this is what people kind of expect. So I'm gonna talk like this, kind of stuff.
I still love the movies where he ends up being the villain.
Yeah, I liked him in what is it, Takedown? With
the Rundown, you mean?
The Rundown, yeah, with The Rock and
yeah,
and
Sean William Scott.
Yeah.
Goddamn Oompa Loompas! What the fuck?
I'm running this mine, and you be happy. Oh, dude, yeah, no. See, I'm gonna have to watch that tonight.
It's still rather shocking when you see him not hamming things up to that degree.
He does.
When he was a Bond villain.
Wait, he was a Bond villain?
This is something that everyone forgets. Walken was a Bond villain.
I didn't forget it. I didn't know it.
I guarantee you have seen the Bond movie that he was a villain in.
All right, so enlighten me, sir.
The Google.
What?
Yeah, I need to
It's
pull
not
up the
Google. It's
name for it
IMDb.
again.
Hold on. Hold on.
A View to
hold
Kill?
on. Whoa,
Yes, View to Kill.
God damn it.
Oh, To a Kill. Whoops, I cannot read.
Can I just address this? Look,
Yes.
I understand that it's fun to say, hey, just go Google it, and I applaud it. Yes, go Google it or whatever. Go find the research. Go seek out the knowledge. I applaud that. I unfortunately have been blown past that. So I'm sitting here like it's. I don't want to have to look at this. If you're gonna sit there and entice me with, hey, yeah, it was a Bond villain. All right, well, proceed.
Yeah, he was a Bond villain. He was Max Zornin in View to a Kill, which, if you remember I'm trying to remember the name of the actress that was his right-hand man.
Oh, wait a minute.
Grace Jones. That was who it was.
God, he looked. It's weird seeing him young.
So who was the Bond? Is it
Roger
Moore?
Yep, Roger Moore.
Did he have any significant traits?
He was
like Sean Connery was one type of Bond.
So many people point to Roger Moore when things became really silly with the Bond movies.
What do you mean silly?
He's the one that took Bond movies to space.
So basically better Bond movies because they were fun.
Yeah, he had Moonraker, which went to space. In one of his Bond movies, there's a point where the car that he's driving ends up doing a flip, and I shit you not, the sound effect that they put in for that was a goddamn slide whistle.
Did they a slide whistle?
They put in a slide whistle sound effect as his car is flipping in the air.
No, they didn't.
They did. But he also had... It's really weird, because his movies are the weirdest movies when it comes to Bond movies. But they're also some of the best movies when it comes to really memorable villains. Like, all of you know exactly... You probably get the character in your mind when you hear the word Jaws.
Yeah.
With his fucking metal teeth just chasing Bond around. Yeah. Jaws was from Roger Moore's Bond movies.
So that's where that guy came from?
Yep.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, Roger Moore. There's people that love his Bond movies. There's people that hate his Bond movies. I have a fuck ton of fun with them. But it's very strange, and you get whiplash from them when you are watching them, because it'll be like this really kind of serious and almost cerebral moment, and then the car flips and slide whistle. And then it'll go back to something more serious, and we're in fucking space, and there's laser guns? What the fuck? And then something serious again.
Yeah. So fun.
Yeah. They are amazing cheese, and I love them for it. But yeah, Walken was Max Zornin in View to a Kill. And I know that pretty much everyone has seen that movie, because if you've seen the movie where there's the creepily muscular black female henchman, that's the movie where he was the Bond villain. Because that character is Mayday, and she was played by Grace Jones, as Sora mentioned. That's just one of those, what the fuck? Because when you think people that you would go, oh yeah.
As a kid.
Say again?
One of my crushes when I was younger.
Oh, you had a crush on Grace Jones?
Yeah, she was on, I think it was Conan the Destroyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one where with the other girl who is like, how do you get a man? And she's like, you beat him up and drag him back to your cave.
Fucking take him. Yeah. That's my dream woman.
What do you mean get a man? You don't get a man, you take. Yeah, she was an icon.
We've said too much.
Been pointed out due to what you said in chat, which I will read out now. Whose carrot am I dangling? Jack is
dangling
saying
carrots?
that's something that you say on the movie set, and instead I have to ask, what movie numbers that in your filmography?
Oh, that's a good question. We had to take a break due to COVID.
So is that one of the ones yet to come?
Yeah, that's still in post-production.
Also,
So that's
yet to
gonna
come
be...
is one of the other ones. In that list.
That's got to be into the 500s now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, though, Walken is not the person that you go, you know who would make a really good Bond villain? Walken.
He's just a little bit too goofy.
Though he played that role and he was convincing as a villain, and he didn't have a lot of his normal walk-in tells. So when I first remembered, wait, who was the villain in that movie? That couldn't have been Walken. It looked like Walken. That couldn't have been Walken. Son of a bitch, it was Walken.
Yeah, you know, it was in his early days though. You know, so you gotta remember that. As he aged, it was can't really put him in areas. I don't know.
Still, it's one of those things that you don't really think of because he was already doing SNL at this point. He was already doing his hosting bits on SNL, including the Intercontinental. Which, watch the Intercontinental and then look at him in View to a Kill, and you're going, what the fuck? How is this the same man? And I just remembered, View to a Kill is also the one where they had the guy who played John Steed as one of the other supporting actors for that movie.
Who's that? That's very... John Steed?
John Steed from the Avengers. It was a old spy action series from England.
Oh!
Yeah, they had two versions of it. They had the British version and the American version.
The American version is absolute unrepentant garbage.
The one with
who was in the American one? Wasn't it like
Uma Thurman, Sean Connery?
It was okay. It was a fun movie from what it is, but it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been the movie make of the series.
I remember, like, we went to rent the movie and we saw them next to each other, and we're like, "Which one do we get?"
Please tell me you got the.
Well, I said we should have gotten the British version, and he's like,
right.
He's like, it's got Uma Thurman in it. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, you should probably go with the, it's there. Let's go for that one.
I mean, Uma Thurman.
He went for it. Halfway through, he's like, maybe we should have gotten the British version.
The English
Mistakes
version.
are made.
The English version is amazing. It's I just had the actor's name on the tip of my tongue. Patrick Macney as John Steed, and depending on at which point, because the series went on for an extended period of time, so there was the Avengers, there was a newer Avenger, or the New Avengers, which was also with the same people, if I remember correctly. It was just later on and had different companions. But It started with John Steed, and I can't remember who his first companion was. His most noted companion, though, was Emma Peel. And Emma Peel was fantastic. And trying to remember who, Diane Rigg, was that who played Emma Peel? I think it
That
was.
sounds right.
And let's see. Yep, Diana Rigg was Emma Peel. And Emma Peel was the ass-kicking femme fatale that actually worked, unlike every modern incarnation.
I think it's also because it's so unbelievably British, too, like with the humor and then their over-the-top politeness and everything. It helped sell the ass-kicking aspect of her character.
The part about it was that she wouldn't overpower people. She would beat the people that she's fighting with talent and being able to be more flexible and shit like that. Where, yeah, if you're talking about a woman fighting, you shouldn't have a 100-pound to 110-pound woman overpowering a 300-pound man. But it's believable if you have her just kind of dancing around just out of his reach and dipping in quick, dancing back out.
Hitting the knees or in the back with something heavy, pushing them over, unbalancing them kind of thing.
When you allow them to do cheap shots, it becomes believable.
Mm-hmm.
But this bullshit currently where, oh yeah, we're going to have our 100-pound starlet just go hand to hand against these 3 football linemen, and she's just going to overpower all of them at the same time. Bullshit. There's a size differential that you have to take into account. A woman can kick absolute ass in a fight, but she won't kick ass if she's trying to fight like a guy fights. Because she's not a guy. She doesn't have the mass of a guy. She doesn't have the reach of a guy.
Yeah, so there's no that's why there's nothing wrong with the so-called cheap shots, right?
Yeah.
Because that would make the most sense. You're using your spy knowledge to your most advantage, which is what you would expect.
Yep. And it was also funny because she was the one that would engage in hand-to-hand most often in the series. John Steed was a dirty bastard whenever he had to fight. And that just made it funnier. Because she would do some cheap shots. John Steed would club someone in the head with his metal-lined hat.
Let's see. I remember back when I was doing kickboxing, one of the guys, he was squaring off against one of the girls, and he was pretty good for, his age.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty limber. And the gal that he was fighting against, he was somewhat new. Like they were pretty willing to fight and everything. I wasn't really all that, in there for the competitive part.
Mm-hmm.
That's why my coach called me Gentle Johnny. Because I used to turtle up. And it was pretty funny because, I would throw a couple of punches, and I'm pretty observant as far as when I can tell if someone's going to do something. Mm-hmm. And so what I do, what I call is turtling up, and like for every like type of body punch, like you do a crunch for it. Like for a body shot, you have your arms up and you kind of just crunch to like tensen the muscles in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Tensen and spread.
And then, and one of the guys they put me up against, he was twice my size, and I'm already a big enough guy. But watching these two square off, and he had the thought, you know, I can't hit a girl, and I'm like, you better hit her, like, because she's not gonna hold back against you. And he would throw a punch, and then you could just see, like, halfway through the punch, he would just pull it back. And I'm like, man, you're gonna get your ass just handed to you. And even the coach is like, dude, if you're going up against her, just tag her. Like, you don't have to like kill her or anything. Just, you know, go for it. And he went in just for a straight combo, and she just did a spinning back kick, just nailed him right in the gut, and just dropped him.
Oh,
nice.
And yeah, it was artful and wonderful. But yeah, he called me that because I would see once he was the guy that they had me against, once he was going to go in for a combo, he would kind of like rotate his shoulder, like kind of just like not really like a shrug, but kind of like, all right, warm up the joint a little bit and then go. Mm-hmm. And like as soon as I saw him take a step, like sort of like look like he was going to advance on me, I would just hit defensive position, and then like he would throw like the two combo and then back off, because he knew that as soon as I knew that he was done, I was gonna go. And so he pulled back, and then yeah, I kind of went for it, and I fell for it, and ended up getting a mid kick to the side.
Yeah, I haven't taken martial arts much. I took a little bit in college, but that was the year that my knee decided that it would fuck up again. So I ended up having to drop that because having your kneecap or all your leg muscles become unbalanced, dragging your knee out of the track and turning it sideways, then getting a herniated bursa sac that pushes it further out of track, turns it more, and then a bone spur pushing it further, turning it more. So you were grinding bone on bone for a year. Not exactly fun to be going through martial arts with that. But the two moments that I felt the worst for were both part of the same series of drills where we were told to get into two lines facing each other. So we got into two lines facing each other. And we were practicing blocking, active blocks, rather than just passive, which is just kind of get your arms in the way and get wailed on in your forearms. But it was the active block, sweep it to the side, knock it away type block. And we were told what we were supposed to do. The specific block was like the hammer block or some shit like that. And one line was told to start punching the other line. The other line was told to knock their arms away. And we were both told to actually take it seriously, to give it a go, because you aren't going to learn how to do it right and how to do it with enough force unless you're practicing it in the right form. If someone gets hit, that's their fucking fault. Block it. So we line up, and first I'm in the punching line. So the first person that I go against, I throw a punch. They slam down on my forearm with their forearm. It bounces my arm about maybe 3 inches lower them where I was aiming, because I was aiming for center of their chest, and I socked them in the gut. They kind of get back in line. Told to throw a punch again. Throw a punch. They hit my arm. My arm dips down. Punch them in the gut. They just did not have enough force to drive my arm completely out of line. And they were slamming it as hard as they could. And each time I'm just socking them in the gut. Then the lines shifted. So someone else. And I sock them in the gut. And I just kept on punching everyone that I ended up going against in the gut because they didn't fucking drive my arm deep enough, even though they were really slamming their forearm into it. Jesus. And I felt bad doing that because I'm going, I don't want to just be punching these people in the gut. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just doing what they insist I do. Then it gets to the point where I'm now in the blocking line, because as you reach the end of your line, you go into the end of the other line. So I'm now in the blocking line, and first person throws a punch, I just drop my arm on top, their fist goes flying away from me. And as we're just doing these rotations, people are getting more ginger from being socked in the gut when I'm in the punching line. And also their forearms are just getting chewed up from doing the forearm block and slamming down forearm on forearm to drive the arm away. And I just keep on dropping my forearm, knocking their punches away. There were a couple people that ended up damn near crying as we were doing the drill just because of how banged up their forearms were getting. But ever since I was little, I've been effectively accidentally body hardening. So my forearms don't feel shit.
You've got their secret, you have the secret weapon there. They won't know.
Yeah. I just felt really bad when I was doing those drills. Because first I'm punching people in the gut that I don't want to be punching in the gut. And then I'm just battering the shit out of their arms.
If they didn't want to be punched in the gut, they wouldn't be there.
But the thing was, it was more just they didn't have the force to drive the arm far enough. And as it went, their blocks would get weaker because their arms are fucked up now. So I'd punch them in the gut a little bit higher until I was just socking people in the chest. And let's see, Gamer Valine says that we need to practice fighting skills because she just found out Skynet. Apparently an early version, but one of her multi-million-dollar machine knew that the vendor was back today on shift and started faulting after we recovered it. On the last shift, we had a vendor present. Ah, shit.
Well, we had a good run, folks.
It'll be an interesting contest.
What did I miss?
Apparently Skynet.
Oh.
Well,
It's been nice knowing you.
Yeah. I was going to say it's the...
At least until some of us come back as enhanced soldiers or whatever.
Like I said, I'm just waiting for them to announce that they have augmentations that are at the very least as fast and as strong as my current left side. And I will swap my body parts in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would totally do the auto mail type stuff.
Yeah. For me, it doesn't even have to be pretty. I'll swap my left leg and my left arm. Though, in order for me to consider swapping my right arm and my right leg, it has to be really nice.
Well, won't they be like modeling it after your current body, but just with like the physical layer, the top aesthetic layer, I should say, covering?
Potentially. It depends on how they end up doing it, because if it's a mechanical augment, it doesn't necessarily have to be true to previous form. You can have it bulkier, you can have it lighter.
Ooh, I want glowies. Give me RBG.
An RBG bicep.
Yeah.
She wants
This is
to
like gamer arm.
She wants tracers as she runs down the street.
I'm just trying to think like how would even that work? Like a advertisement on your bicep and shit.
It would be perfect for here because it gets so pitch black and it's constantly raining in the fall and winter, so that it would actually be a safety feature.
If you get bionic legs, once you hit top speed, it just goes.
See, like you
Either
have
that
like,
or
flashing lights on it.
It would either have to do the $6 million man run sound effect, or it would have to be the slow-mo run sound effect that's used in every movie. The song that gets played.
Yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about, right?
Yes, but I couldn't repeat it. I couldn't repeat it to you, but I know what you mean.
I can never remember the name of that song, and almost no one has seen the movie that it's actually from, which is probably the most amusing part.
What movie is it from?
Let me look it up again, because it is such a... Just where the fuck... It's used in everything, so everyone just assumes that it's... Oh yeah, that's just the sound that you use when you have someone running in slow motion. But no, it's from an actual movie. And it's just been ripped off time and time again. So the
Excuse me.
That was from was, let's see, what's the name of the song first? So I can then figure out what movie it's from. Da-da-da-da-da. That's not the right one. That's not the right one. That's not the right one. God damn it. It's even hard finding the name. Oh, there it is. I think it's this one. Let me quickly double check in another window.
While you're looking, while I was trying to look up a Medium article while I was on Frosted's stream today, I discovered a shockingly new website called Real Jew News.
No.
Yes. And
Amazing.
It's as bad as you think it is.
Wait, for real?
Yes. No, I'm serious. It is massively anti-Semitic.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
so it's effectively just another front for war?
Pretty much.
Fantastic. And it is Vangelis from Chariots of Fire.
Oh, I've seen that movie.
You have? Okay.
Yeah,
me too.
we had to watch it in grade 7.
Wait, what?
I watched it in summer school.
Well, you had to watch it. What kind of movie is this?
It's like marathon running and crap. We watched that, and we watched something about a bicycle movie too.
Yeah, it was Chariots of Fire and then Congo.
You watch
So that was
a
really kind of a
marathon
weird combo.
running. Yeah, it is a weird combo. Running and a bicyclist.
Yeah, Chariots of Fire is the story about the British track team from the 1924 Olympics, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Why did you have to watch these?
That was part of something we were doing, I'm sure, in class.
Right.
I don't know. We ended up watching a lot of movies in grade 6 and 7.
Although nothing beats the oh god, what was it? 50 minutes of having to listen to Mr. Mister's Broken Wings. Just to understand how metaphors work.
Hold on, wait. Is there a song to it?
Yes. Which one? Which one?
I don't know.
Broken Wings or the Chariots of Fire thing?
Sora was singing away to some song. I have no idea who Mr. Wings is.
No, it's Mr. Mister.
Mr. Mister.
And the song is called Broken Wings.
What is this?
It's a song from like the 80s.
A ballad.
And this guy was so obsessed with this, he played it for an entire class length. Back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Until
you want your kids to hate a song, that's how you hate a song.
Yeah, and we went line by line, like dissecting metaphors for a song that we're just like, I don't know, I could go without ever hearing this song again for the rest of my life.
Some English assignments are just what the fuck when you think about them.
It wasn't even an English assignment. It was a music class.
Music. Shit.
And they just had one song that they were trying to demonstrate with?
One song. At least from all, like, yeah. And the guy I sat next to in class, I'm just like, I don't know about you, but I think we're gonna do a murder-suicide pact here if you're interested. And he's like, oh, I'm game.
Nice.
Like, rock paper scissors for who goes first.
Oh, I found the bicycle movie. It's called Breaking Away. So Chariots of Fire and Breaking Away. That's what we watched. Back to back.
I'm not even familiar with Breakaway.
Yeah.
Breaking Away. It's from 1979. A working class Indiana teen obsessed with the Italian cycling team vies for affection of a college girl while searching for life goals with his friends. All I remember is that he's obsessed about reading these books about like triathlon or whatever, cross-country biking. And at one point, his dad catches him shaving his legs. And he's like, yeah, the Italians do this. It makes them aerodynamic. That's all I remember of this movie. I have no idea anything else.
It's functionally a mixture of male coming-of-age sports story and a chick
Dad,
flick.
I'm shaving my legs because it makes me go faster.
That's all
And that's what you remember.
And I'm sure I had to write like a paper on this movie or probably compare and contrast with Chariots of Fire, but I can't remember.
Oh, this is beautiful.
It's the same year we also watched this movie about a female terrorist in somewhere.
Shit. Wait,
and where I can't remember it wasn't in English, whatever the movie was in, some foreign foreign. And what happens is, spoilers, at some point so she's part of this separatist movement and whatever. She's being trained to become a suicide bomber. Nothing to do with Islam. It was something else, I think. And at some point, like she's semi in love with this guy. She's very cold, so they're she's already prepped to kill herself, and she realizes she's pregnant and never goes through with it. And that's it was a good movie, but that's basically what I remember. Just like, okay, training to be a suicide bomber, and then oops, up the duff.
So what you're saying is, in order to avoid female suicide bombers, just breed them.
What movies are you watching?
Well, no, she was about to go through with it. No, she was literally about to like press the button, and she keeps hearing a baby cry. She keeps hearing her baby cry. She's nowhere near showing. She's probably a couple months along only, but that's a whole scene. Like, she can hear the baby crying and decides not to go through with it.
So, bang the baby into them, and then have crying baby sounds played in public spaces.
It may work.
It's an interesting strategy.
Now I have to find what the heck that... Oh. It's called The Terrorist. It's an Indian Tamil film. So it's about the life of a 19-year-old woman sent to assassinate a leader in South Asia through a suicide bombing. So it's in Tamil.
Okay. Has a very straightforward name. You know exactly what you're getting.
Because in my head, it's like, yeah, The Terrorist movie. And I'm like, no, it can't be called that. It has to be something. Nope, it's just The Terrorist.
That's kind of like there's one movie that I didn't see it. My brother and my sister saw it when they were in high school. And neither of them knows what the fuck it was. It was some French film that they aren't even sure what the fuck they watched or if they just got a contact high. It was that strange. At one point, they were describing people wearing frog suits going through a sewer as part of their description for this movie.
Okay. What
and
movie?
Then people wearing pig heads. They don't know. They just know that they both saw this movie, and one of them mentioned it, talking about how goddamn weird it was that there were people wearing pig heads and frogmen going through a sewer system. And the other one went, "You saw that movie too?" And they don't know what it is. They just, that line, the people wearing pig heads and frogmen going through a sewer, that's stuck in my head.
I'm almost wondering if it's some sort of weird, like Alice in Wonderland retelling or something like that, you know?
Or like Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
some surrealist fantasy thing.
It was absolutely surrealist, but it seemed like it was just French art house.
So just French being French.
Yeah, the French being very
for no
French.
Reason.
Where you're just going, what the fuck?
Yeah. Haven't seen it. I've tried to think if I've seen like a really weird. There is speaking of like Alice in Wonderland, there's I think it's French-Canadian film, L'Odyssée d'Alice, so Alice's Odyssey, which is kind of weird, like that. Like an adult she's not really Alice from Alice in Wonderland. She goes through this really weird potential trip while having like I think a midlife crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, way to fancy up the conversation there, Sora.
Yeah, getting all French and shit.
Yeah.
Well, that was my fault with the weird French movie with frogmen in the sewer
Yeah, it
and
makes
people
me
wearing
think
pig
of this
heads.
one.
As long as you don't go too French and start introducing onions. Ha 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 ha. Yeah.
What about a whole soup made of onions?
Yeah, get out of here with that. No.
I had a friend in high school. He's Turkish. His family's Turkish.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed over at his dad's house once. And there was his dad, his grandmother. I think that might have been his stepmom or someone that he was dating or something. And then there was a couple that were living there that were from Turkey. And they may have either been related or just family friends.
Mm-hmm.
And she was incredibly hot. And so it was really, it was kind of awkward when she talked about me. Because when they spoke, they spoke in Turkish.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know if she's eyeballing me and she's just like saying something, and then just I don't know if like I can't pick up on cues very well. So if someone's like, ridiculing me or like talking with interest or just saying, "Oh yeah, that's a guy," and, that's him. He's a dude that's just standing there, and like I have no idea. Well, especially it doesn't help that they're not speaking English. And so his grandmother made this. It's a ball onion soup, and I am horrified because I don't want to be like, no, I can't eat this because it's onions and onions are gross. And I look at my friend. I'm like, is this all you guys have? And he goes, well, I don't think they're going to make you anything else. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Like, I'm going in. And fortunately, it was it didn't taste like onions at all. It actually tasted like, I mean, you had the oniony like taste throughout the soup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like strong.
Yeah, because you cook off the most volatile compounds.
Yeah, and so when you bit into the onion, I was expecting onion taste and grossness, but it was like broth that just came out. Like it was just an oniony type broth,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh, thank God, it's good. Because I would hate to be like, because I have a horrid gag reflex when it comes to food. If it's something that I don't like, I will throw it up right then, right there, with no hesitation. And well, I mean, it's better now than it was when I was a kid. When I was a kid, it was like it was a hair trigger. And man, I just remember I took a bite and I'm like, oh, thank God, it's good. Like, just I was so relieved. And we could hear them talking about us behind us because like we're sitting with our backs to them, and the only thing that they're talking in English are just like names. So they mentioned my name, and I'm like, I think they're talking about me. And then they mentioned that I went to the high school, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're definitely talking about me. And I go, can you understand anything that they're saying? And he goes, kinda. Like, because he's versed in Turkish, but not, like, he doesn't know anyone else that speaks it other than his family.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know if, like I can pick out some words, but they're using slang. So it throws off the translation if they're using slang words.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why Google Translate is never a reliable way to translate anything.
Well, no, because it lacks idiom in context.
Also, just it gets things wrong in the most interesting of ways.
That's what makes it fun.
It's like I looked up a song from the band Maximum the Hormone, and using Google Translate, I don't know if it meant to sound like it, but it was so long ago I barely remember it. But it was I think it mentioned something about like I just want to have sex with something. I don't care what it is. Pretty much, like, and I'm like, maybe there's a slang word in there somewhere that's just sort of like lost in translation. I'm just gonna erase this from my memory and never look at this again.
Did it work?
No, I still remember it. The memory's still there. And it's one of my favorite songs of theirs too, which is kind of like I'll start like bobbing along like, oh, never mind. But I don't know anyone who speaks Japanese firsthand, so I can't just ask someone what it means.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I would be that person, be like, "Oh yes, sure, I can totally help you," and then just say something completely wrong to screw with you.
What are you, Australian?
No, it's just fun. Oh, you're listening something in a language that you don't know, and you're asking for help. I'm gonna be a great friend.
Yeah.
I swear, Australians have a supernatural ability to know when another Australian's bullshitting someone so that they can agree.
It has to be you know how plants have root systems, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they communicate with each other. It has to be something very similar.
Are you
It's
saying
invisible.
that Australians are fungi?
Yes.
I can believe it.
It's how they spread so well, internationally. It just it's every single time you meet one Australian somewhere, you're like, okay, it's an Australian, and suddenly they're everywhere. It's just as if that was the first spore and it went poof.
It's like buying a
they're all of
car.
them.
It's like buying a car. You buy one, and all of a sudden you see them everywhere around town.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna be one of a kind.
God
What's that
damn
guy
it.
driving? Like, why are you driving that?
Speaking of one of a kind, yesterday as I was going into work, I drove by this girl with like a bright ass bubblegum pink car. I'm looking at it. And it had an N on it. Of course it had an N. N means new driver. That means you don't have your full license yet, but you've passed you're past your learner stage, so you can drive by yourself in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at this absolute monstrosity of an ugly car. And I didn't quite catch the model. It was too fast. So I saw the N and the color. But I was just like, why would you do that? Why would you bring so much attention to yourself? Because everyone is going to be able to spot you now, and people are going to remember your license plate because you are the most unique car on the road.
personally, I think that should be the marker of new drivers in general. They should only be allowed to drive pastel cars.
Well,
or neon.
To be fair, I learned on a car that was bright ass yellow. Like it was like giving up its own light. It was so bright.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a manual transmission, is to make sure that people understood this is a student car. It's gonna roll back, and you better not be tailgating me.
Like I said, it should be the mark of all new drivers that they have to get pastel or neon cars. And also, there should be a certain point where you've had a sufficient number of driving violations that you now have to get a pastel or neon car as well. Just so that you have that. What sort of. Oh, they're in a pastel. Okay. I know what sort of idiot does this now. Versus just having to wonder, okay, did they not see me? Are they just goddamn retarded? This would at least have the bright colors. Oh, they're retarded.
Yeah.
And their license plate just says, "Wee."
Yep. It would just be a nice little marker, being able to tell where the worst drivers are and avoid them.
Yeah. Ugh, there was some. More and more people don't seem either. I think they just don't know the width of their own car. I find that the most frustrating because I don't have a particularly narrow car. I think I have a fairly standard car. It's not super wide, so I can actually sneak back if a bus is slightly over the lane line and there's parked cars on the other side. I can just squeeze past if I'm very careful with my driving. No problem. But I've seen cars smaller than mine not understand how to go past like a big bus or a truck or something. I'm like, do you guys have like I don't even know if it's depth perception issues is the right term or just spatial awareness malfunction. I don't, those are the people that need to be in those pastel cars, and maybe have like a bumper wrapped around the car, like a full on bumper car bumper, so that since they're so scared to approach, they'll know that it's okay. It doesn't matter if they get too close; it'll just bounce off lightly.
Just let them fuck up their cars or be terrified.
I just want them getting out of my way.
See, that's why I think that cars need cattle pushers.
Yes.
Because there have been so many times that I've just desperately wished that I had a cattle pusher on my car.
But then it's just I'm also the same person where it's like if I have you kissing my bumper, like you're basically on top of me. I'm like, jackass, if I put a sudden brake right now, you're gonna be in my back seat, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's my favorite game because I'll be like, not if I'm on my way to work, but this usually happens like on the commute home because everybody's angry. I just want to go home. And like that happened today. I go 49. It's just, I just coast just a little bit under speed limit. And you can see they get angrier and angrier and angrier. I'm like, what the fuck are you gonna do to me? I'm technically driving speed limit and there's lots of traffic. You can't tell anybody that I'm deliberately slowing down. So, and by 49, I mean 49 kilometers per hour. Because, like, you should learn to get off my bumper and leave a little bit of space because it's for my safety and yours. And then I make sure that they catch a red and then I just gun it.
There's something that I have not seen outside of the state that I currently live in, which is a minimum speed limit.
They pull you over here. It's considered dangerous driving.
Yeah, there are actually signs in certain areas near where I live where it has the maximum speed limit and then just below the maximum, the minimum speed limit.
Oh,
and I
interesting.
desperately wish that more places would have that minimum maximum system.
Why?
So that
Why
it was
that?
declared.
We have a bypass that has a maximum.
Yeah, the most speed limits are the maximum, but almost no area except, like I said, I've seen a few places around where I am, and it's the first time that I've seen them that are minimum and maximum speed limits. And I wish that those existed in more places. Because there was one time, probably the closest that I've ever come to road rage and killing a person was due to being in Northern Virginia, DC area traffic. And
assuming it's very bad traffic there.
Yeah, horrendous traffic. So there was road construction as well, which took the 4 or 5 lane highway where I was down to a single lane.
Oh, gross. Okay.
So slow as hell through there, but everyone knows that the moment that you get to the other side of the construction, you gotta split out to the rest of the lanes and you just fly away, right? Everyone goddamn knows this.
Yes. Except for that one driver.
Except for the 4 drivers. It was a 4 lane, and I remember it because there were 4 drivers. And what happened was we got out of that area of construction. These 4 fanned out into the 4 lanes of the highway and continued to drive at I don't know, maybe 20 miles an hour on a highway.
Gross.
Taking up all the lanes of the highway for a substantial period of time after.
Was no one honking them?
People were honking, people were pissed. I was right behind one of them, and I was looking at my car door like, there's a fair chance that I could put my car into cruise control, strap the wheel so that it doesn't turn anywhere, hop out of my car, run up, pull this person through their window, turn their car steering wheel just enough to make it crash into one of the other cars, kick the shit out of this person in the street, toss them off to the side, and then just get in my car as it comes level with me. And I was considering it for a while. Because fuck them. Fuck them in every way imaginable. They deserve to be beaten in the streets and left broken on the side of the road as a warning to all those that would try to replicate what they did.
Amongst the head and neck.
Yes. They should be beaten like a red-headed stepchild or misbehaving Mormon.
I am starting to not feel so hot, so I am going to bow out.
Fair enough. We're reaching the point where we're almost at the 2-hour mark, 30 minutes shy, about. So we won't be on for terribly much longer after you leave. But do you want to give your parting words all the same?
Get an editor if you don't know how to spell.
Good advice.
There is an article that Frosted read today, and he must have. We were thinking that if he was typing it up, he's like, "Your red squiggly lines do nothing to me," and then he just right clicks it and goes, "Add to dictionary." There we go. Problem solved.
Well, don't you know that if he abided by the conventions of the English language, he would be submitting himself to white supremacy?
Colonialism.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was it would have thrown me off if I was reading it, and I'm bad at reading enough as it is. So yeah, I'm just like, I wouldn't have. I would have made it through the first paragraph and I'm done. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I am gonna bow out, and you guys have a good night.
Yeah,
Have a very good night. I hope you feel better soon.
Me too. All right. Good night.
Night, night.
Like, yeah, journalism's just a shit show.
That's not journalism anymore. It's, hey, I have 20 minutes and a lunch break. Let me just spit something out and then send it in because I'm freelance.
It's paid goddamn blogging, effectively.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's really no difference between what should be the news section of a rag and the editorial section of a rag.
I know, it's all op-ed.
Mm-hmm. Even when it should just be, here's the facts. Like, has anyone kept up on the story of the Waukesha attack?
No.
And so, have you heard about the Waukesha attack at all?
Yes. I've seen the photo of the guy who who was escaping police and decided
Of
to
the
drive
attacker,
through.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've also seen people saying that, oh, if he was a white guy, it wouldn't be causing this much issue, and try to make it into a race issue already. So I kind of fucked off of Twitter for a couple days.
Yeah, they're trying to turn it into a race issue, which they were trying to do from the get-go as well, because it was one of those cases of when it's a white person, it is always a white attacker, a white male does, and then they go into a description of what they actually did, if it's a description of what they did. Sometimes it's just their imagined version of what they did, like it was with the Rittenhouse incident.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it was a unknown suspect more than 48 hours after the suspect was known. And I'm still not 100% sure if all the media agencies have given the name and description of the person yet. They're also trying to do we've completely eliminated terrorism or this being an intentional attack, except for the fact that, they've evidence that the person accelerated and was purposefully weaving into people rather than them just trying to escape. That was one of the things I tried to say, that the person was just trying to escape from another crime scene when they did this. So it wasn't really an attack. It was an accident due to them having to flee police.
Yes, it's the police's fault.
Yes, effectively blaming the police. And
of course,
they were... CNN for the longest period of time was doing he or she when they were talking about the perpetrator.
Wow.
Then there's also the absolute goddamn ghouls that are government officials that have been saying things like he was clearly acting in self-defense. He was probably just afraid for his life.
Yeah, so that's why he ran over a bunch of kids.
He went out there to protect businesses from Christmas rioters. That's something that an elected official actually fucking said.
Did they... were they speaking about the right to killings, or is just are they? It's just got to that point.
Oh, they're pissed that Kyle wasn't convicted and sentenced to life in prison without parole. So now they're trying to just get back at everyone else, rather than actually fix any problems. So rather than realizing that a lot of their rhetoric, the same shit that they're currently spewing in this, is the reason why this guy most likely did what he did, because he had a shit ton of black supremacist, black separatist, anti-white, anti-Republican, effectively American shit that he was putting out. Like I said, he's a black supremacist and a black separatist. And that probably the main motivation behind this, given that he had things saying like he was going to go run people over because fuck white people at previous points. So when he then decides to run over people, maybe it's the same thing. Maybe the motivation behind his earlier statement on that, which should have been a fucking red flag, was the motivation behind when he actually did that. Just maybe. But yeah, they've decided that they're going to try to act like this is the same situation as what Kyle did. And that Kyle is just as guilty of murder as this guy, only this guy's black, so that's the reason why people are pissed off. It's not that he ran over the elderly and children driving through a Christmas parade that was absolutely no harm that pissed people off. No. This is an exact one-for-one relation between a teenage boy being chased through the streets by people saying that they were going to murder him.
Yes.
To this man running over a Christmas parade. And like I said, it's elected officials have been saying shit like he was clearly afraid for his life, and the worst one, as I said, was he heard about this and decided that he would drive the 30 miles from his home because someone went, we heard so much shit about how Kyle came from so far away. He came from 15 minutes away from where he was. This guy drove over a half hour. Are we going to hear about how this guy came from fucking forever away? And the response to that was he clearly heard about the situation and decided that he would come and protect the businesses from Christmas rioters. And it was a Democrat saying this, which gets rid of they were having a piss take. And it's just infuriating.
Yeah.
It is the trend among certain people to endlessly excuse evil actions for no fucking reason. Just like how people are trying to goddamn canonize a pedophile.
Yeah. I'm done with people. Just don't get them.
Some of the people were
They're not
legitimately
worth getting. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Some of the people were legitimately lied to. Those people, I understand why they thought what they thought. I understand why they were saying what they were saying, because they thought they had heard the right information, but they were lied to.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those people realized holy shit, what I was told was not actually what was what. And have since come out and said, hey, I believe this shit because I thought that I was being told the truth. Turns out I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
These were the people that were doing the, okay, how the hell did I just now learn that Kyle didn't shoot 3 black men? Which that was an impressive number of people that ended up saying that during the case.
Well, it's never good.
Yeah, because we have a bunch of people that never bothered to actually look at the information, never bothered to look at the videos that clearly showed what actually happened. They listened to smear merchants talk about it on air for money to push forward their particular agenda. And they thought that they were getting honest news. And I can understand. If you thought that you were getting honest news, and you thought that someone had set out with the intention of murdering someone, that you could have been as pissed off about the people saying he did nothing wrong as you were. But there comes a point where you have to actually look at what happened and then go, oh, I was wrong. I was wrong in this part, this part, this part, and this part. That changes things. And then you have to readdress and determine, do I have any reason to believe what I was believing before? Or should I change my opinion entirely?
Mm-hmm.
If you have reason, then state your reasons. If those are then shot down, redress. If after that redress, your opinion then is also shot down, redress. Keep on taking in additional information. If something that you believe is proven wrong, accept when it's proven wrong, and take in the new information, realize what that new information implies, and change your opinion. This is why the idea that science is a settled matter pisses me off as much as it does. Because, yeah, there's a certain way that there won't be a scientific discovery that determines that the world is 400 years old. That's not going to happen. It is possible that there's a discovery that shows that, oh, we thought the Earth was very slightly older than it turns out that it is, or very slightly younger than we thought it is.
Yeah.
And potentially, there's information that we might be able to find that we go, oh, it's a fair bit older than we thought it was. At least part of it is a fair bit older than we thought it was. That shit's normal. There's a certain direction that science can err. Once you reach a certain degree of information.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that it's settled. And that pisses me off whenever I hear people say, well, we figured out this answer and we don't need to look into it anymore. The fuck? No. You keep on trying to see if you can demonstrate a flaw in what you've said. If you can't, fantastic. If you can, you need to find it and you need to develop it. Anytime that someone says we've reached the pinnacle of information, we've reached the pinnacle of technology.
Yeah, doesn't seem right. That means, okay, well, you move the goalpost then, because you have to keep innovating.
Yeah, and if a person is in one of those fields and they honestly believe that, they need to switch fields. They need to get out of the study, because they have just stated of their own volition that I will be completely useless from this point on.
Yeah.
I will not be able to actually discover anything or improve the knowledge that we currently have. I might be able to teach people about what we currently know, but even then, that would be fairly dodgy if the person's saying that we've discovered all that there is to discover. If they're saying that we've invented everything that can be invented, because there's a fair chance they'll start saying that shit to their students. And like I said, once you start thinking that, you're done. You are useless to the field from that point on.
Mm-hmm.
And it just infuriates me every time that I hear someone say something like that. And it keeps on happening. And it normally keeps on happening by someone who's actually rather intelligent in other respects. And I think I hear Adam.
Yep, he's snoring.
To click that so that. But yeah, it
Adam.
keeps on happening, and it's infuriating. We keep hearing, well, we're at the point where we can't miniaturize technology anymore than we already have. And then someone does. Well, we've reached the point where we can't make this any better than it actually is. And then someone else does.
Yeah. Bet it doesn't feel good. That could have been you.
Yep. Like I said, if you're ever in a scientific field and you say that we've received all the knowledge, we've discovered all the knowledge that we can, stop. Retire. Get out of the fucking field. There's no point to you at all.
No.
So, Adam's just zonked out, and it sounds like we're winding down. Do we want to call it a little bit earlier than standard?
Sure.
Oh,
you just popped back awake then, because we heard some
good morning.
logs being sawn.
Hey, no, I had my my mute button. There might have been some logs been zogged. I'm not gonna disregard that.
Yeah, I was the one who instituted the mute. So,
Hey,
but yeah, do you have,
in all fairness,
do you have something that you want to chat about that you were dying to get off your chest?
Well, I'm working on my chest here. I got plenty of things that I kind of want to get off my chest. Now, I think now is the perfect time, since we're winding down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think it's the perfect time to roll a bunch of these grievances off my chest here.
Okay.
No, yeah, I don't got nothing.
I was really expecting you to just go on a tirade against Onion or something like that. And you let off that way. Just a real fire and brimstone sermon about the evils of onions and the other nightshades.
Repent!
Well,
For thou art smelly.
And I just don't understand. People say that it adds flavor. I just don't buy it.
It objectively does, and you're just wrong on that. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not part of. What's that dude? Guy Fieri. Doesn't he go to Flavor Town?
Yes.
Flavor Country. Maybe I'm just not a citizen of said country. So.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
The thing is that you do know that it gives flavor. It's just a flavor that you don't like.
I don't recognize it as a flavor.
Then how can you tell when onion is in something? If onion is flavorless, how would you be able to tell?
Hold on. I see that you have a flag. I just don't recognize that flavor flag. No, it's it's um it's, uh yeah, no, it's just come on, dude, they taste bad. It's just a bad taste.
No, it's objectively a delicious taste according to most of the human race. You just have the wrong taste buds.
I guess so.
Just like the people that say that cilantro tastes like soap, I'm sorry, you were born with messed up DNA that makes you taste wrong.
Yeah, that'd be me.
Huh?
It's not that it doesn't taste like soap to me; it just tastes terrible. I've tasted. I've had my fair share of having soap in my mouth, so I would take that any day. There's nothing wrong with that. But cilantro, on the other hand, bleh.
Wait, so soap is tasty? Is that what you just said?
Uh-oh.
Not tasty. It's just soap. There's nothing wrong with soap.
I would disagree. There's something wrong with soap in my mouth.
It's just soap. You can rinse it out. It's no problem. Whereas cilantro, it just lingers and it's yeah. It stays on your tongue and ugh.
I get that feeling more from soap than I do from cilantro. What the fuck is up with your mouth?
I don't know. Soap washes out easily.
No, you get the taste of soap and it just lingers. It's kind of like, okay, sorry. You know how people use silicone baking shit now, right?
Sure.
Do you use any silicone baking shit, or have you used any silicone baking shit? And does it taste different coming out?
No, never. I have like silicone spatulas, but
yeah, silicone spatulas aren't sufficient to do what I was going to refer to.
We have metal.
Okay, because there are people that swear that the silicone trays, like silicone ice trays and silicone.
Oh, I have silicone ice trays, but they don't really give any flavor to the ice.
Okay, there's only like 3 or 4 people that I've met like myself that we can taste if it's been in silicone.
I mean, if it's something that's warm, that's hot, I can believe that, right? Because it's.
I can taste silicone if ice has been made in a silicone
over
tray.
Time will take the taste of the thing. Like I've had, your like to go coffee tumblers, right? You can get ones that have the silicone sippy cup lid.
Yep.
And those get I eventually have to check those out, even with washing them. Well, no, see, you can't wash them in the dishwasher because if you wash them even on top rack in the dishwasher, it retains the detergent smell. Over time. It becomes porous enough that it keeps it in place. So you have to like boil it, but even you can boil it over and over again. Eventually, it stays stained and having the smell of what you use it for, like the coffee or tea or milk or whatever.
For me, I can taste it if it's ice cubes that were made in a silicone tray. It tastes almost rubbery. So I don't get why so many people are going crazy over silicone ice trays and baking sheets and shit like that, because I'm just going, no, why can't you taste this? Why are you making this so popular? I just want normal shit. I don't want the silicone shit. Stop making it the most popular. Well, like I said, there's only a handful of people that I've found that also get that taste. That's just wrong.
That's interesting. Very interesting.
It defiles my mouth and I don't like it. It's buggering my taste buds.
It knows what it's doing.
It probably does, the son of a bitch.
It's a bad taste.
Yeah, like I said, it's a rubbery taste to them, and it drives me crazy because I just keep on seeing more and more silicone ice trays and silicone bakeware, and I'm going, no, give me back metal. I want cast iron. Give me cast iron, for fuck's sake.
Do you think they made like cast iron fucking ice trays?
No, you wouldn't make cast iron ice trays because you don't want water sitting in iron. So you'd have to do like a aluminum ice tray or something along those lines. But plastic ice trays tend to be the most common and also best when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because-
unless you want that weirdo taste.
Yeah, unless you want that silicone taste. But apparently most people don't get that silicone taste. I can taste it, though. You will not be able to sneak that shit past me. Fuck your inferior trays.
It is a challenge.
Give me back my good old petrochems. But yeah, if you were to make a metal ice tray, though, I think the easiest way of doing so would be you'd have to do it either out of like a stainless spring steel in order to allow it to you to crack the tray and have it retake its
like
shape.
a cake pan.
Or that was the other thing that I was going to say. You could make it so that it was like a spring form pan, but you'd have to make a watertight spring form pan, which would be a bit strange.
Yeah, not worth the effort, honestly.
Yeah, just stick with standard plastic ice cube trays. They don't impart any weird flavors. They just work. And they're cheap as shit.
Exactly.
Though the price is probably going to go up for those. Because as people keep turning more and more against petrochem, plastic is a petrochem. Though
I mean,
most
it's
people
not a one-use plastic, so I don't see it going away anytime soon.
Well, it's not so much that it would go away because people would try to phase it out. They're trying to phase out the source of it. So there are bioplastics that are being made now, but those are more expensive than traditional plastics. And traditional plastics are made from refining petrochems. So if you get rid of the petrochems, then the price will increase for the remaining petrochems, and also you'll have the more expensive biochem plastics. Which they still work, but like I said, they're just more expensive because it's a newer tech. Eventually its price will come down sufficiently as well.
Well, I don't think anything. Oh, excuse me. I think most things are going up. So,
Yeah.
So even something where the initial reason is because of shift in popularity, I guess.
Mm-hmm. The two worst things that I've seen as far as price increase are still the sea bass and the scallops.
Oh, yes, I remember you saying the other day.
Yeah.
Scallops.
I say the other day. So last week before?
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah. Adam, you've purchased scallops before, right?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. So a pound of scallops used to be somewhere if you were able to find it really cheap, it might be $16, $17 per pound. Most of the time, it was somewhere in like the 18 to 20 range. Scallop, where I am, are now $42 a pound.
Holy shit.
Sea bass used to be in a very similar price point. The cheap sea bass you could find maybe down to like $15. Expensive, maybe up to $20, $21. It is now over $50 a pound.
Yeah.
It's goddamn infuriating.
You know, there's one person I want to blame, and you know, the name just kind of slips off the tongue, but
is it the one that is normally referred to by Let's Go Brandon?
well, I mean, I don't want to add some discouraging points to the stream, so I'll just because we're feeling the effects all over the place.
Yep. It's been a kick in the nuts.
Yep.
But here's hoping that come next year, a lot of that will be lessened. Because next year, there's the midterm. And hopefully the midterm turns out well.
Yes. But who knows?
And yeah, who knows? I just hope that
how things are going.
We get fewer insane people.
Yeah.
I want less extreme people. I want more, okay, can this work? Will this work? Sorts, rather than, let's institute something. Okay, you instituted it. Does it work? Fuck if we know. Let's institute something else.
Bureaucracy times 10.
Yeah, let's increase the bureaucracy and let's never look to see whether what we did does what we said it was meant to do. And let's, in fact, get rid of the measures in order to determine if it does what we said it would do. That way we won't be called on it at future points. Huzzah! That's the most infuriating part. The fact that they will either refuse to give a criteria on which it can be judged, or they then try to remove the criteria on which it can be judged.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is that time. And I hear Sora yawning. Adam had his little power nap there a little bit ago. But
hey, you know, in all fairness, yeah, I don't have any excuse.
I had an extra long day today, so I'm a bit more tired than usual.
Fair enough. Which one of you wants to give your parting words first?
I would give it to the lady first.
Oh. Okay. Go ahead, Adam.
Oh, sweet. Damn. Well,
She just pickpocketed your man card.
yeah. Are we still live?
Yes.
Shit. All right. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna back down. I your challenge there, and it's not. I'm not gonna forget this, Sora. So I expect a revenge.
Shall I
Maybe
sleep
not
with one eye
today.
open?
If you sleep, sure. Um, so my closing statement as a lady,
Hmm.
I have my pinky up, just as you know.
Oh, very elegant. Very nice.
Yes, well, because I am a lady.
Pinky up, the mark of true femininity, apparently.
And I'm also holding up the other half of my dress, so I guess I'm hitting all the points.
Well, you did kind of walk into it when
I did.
decided that you would wear a dress for the show tonight.
I said I hate wearing pants, so haka.
Yeah, but did you really have to go for the full bustle?
Look, if I'm I play into the role, sir. Okay, we go 100% in.
Yeah, but you didn't even have a lady in waiting to help you get into it.
Yeah, well, the corset still is kind of loose, but we'll work it out. So,
Couldn't find the whale bones for it.
my closing statements.
Mm-hmm.
As always, it's fun to join you on Friday night, Sanguine.
Mm-hmm. Always fun.
It's a blessing to be able to hang out on the minions. And every chance I get, I always trumpet them out. Minions of the Zoo, God bless you. But for all you out there watching us, I hope you were entertained. God bless, and I love you all. And yeah, shit, we had a good time.
Sora, you're up now.
All right. Well, everyone have a good day. Enjoy the weekend. I can't really think of anything. I didn't really prepare anything, so I do apologize. But
yeah, I had a dress and everything.
Yeah, he had to get into the dress. He had to get the whalebone.
I don't make that much effort on a Friday night. Sorry, guys. I'm just sitting here with my pizza pretzel, just vegging out.
I'm hurt. I am. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sleep tonight.
Now he's all dressed up with nowhere to go.
My mascara's running.
And he has to worry about getting the vapors now that he's tied his corset on.
Wait, is there?
He doesn't even have his fainting couch with him.
I was gonna say, where's my fainting couch?
Oh, that was that's too bad.
Once more, Kanokistan has hurt me. Deeply hurt me so.
Oh, too bad.
I'm never gonna get love from the from our northern cousins, am I?
It's tough love up here.
Yeah.
I'm concerned if now suddenly this story is developing as it goes, and apparently you're wearing the full-blown dress with the bustle and the corset, all because you were looking for love.
Yeah,
this
but
is going to dark places, man.
I'm also bearing the American flag circa 1812, and I'm sitting there like, dude, we're going up. We're going right back. We can't forget the sack of Detroit, Fort Detroit. Yeah,
or the burning of the White House.
Well, that too. That too. That wasn't Canada. That was British.
It was Canadian troops under the command of the English.
Don't give them clout, sir.
It was English command, Canadian troops.
Yeah. We did that.
You didn't. Oh, God. Okay, the show's over.
Well, see, the thing is that they did do it, just they lacked the initiative and inventiveness in order to be able to do it without being directed to do it by someone else. So, Canada.
Nobody said we're snippy snappy on the ball. We just get shit done.
Some Canucks were standing there like, oi, I think they're them British troops are burning up them buildings there over there. Yeah, it looks like that there. And then the British are like, oi, we're gonna burn them British buildings up there, and whatever British accent. I can't do a British accent right now. I'm exhausted.
I'm just amazed that apparently both the Canadians and the English are Minnesotans.
Dude, you're lucky. You're lucky there's not an Australian coming in here.
That oi was like, fairly Australian sounding.
No, there's Terry's gonna be on the side. Hi, I got a Vegemite sandwich, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here for second breakfast, you fucker. Oh, good God.
What's wrong with second breakfast now? Next, you're gonna tell us 11 C's is not a thing for you guys?
We don't. Do we have 11 C's? We have 11 C's. Sure, we do. Oh man.
Do you? Because now I don't feel so sure.
We're stretching the line. This is.
Some people do. Some people do.
Hey, you know what? I know one particular person who does have 11 C's. And
How about you, sir?
I don't want
Sanguine?
I'm going to leave off with my standard, I think. I'm slightly confused as to what's going on, but I'll leave off with my standard of, if you're passionate about something, make sure that you devour it. Don't let it devour you. And with that, have a good night all. The zoo is closed.
Nighty-night.
Aloha.
This is when you say good night.
I said aloha.
Okay.
Don't they say that? Isn't that like the same thing back and forth?
I can't remember if it is for them. But yes, good night all. But, and wrong button. Let me click this one.
Or maybe it was the last